For the Floyd?
What
For
do I
the
even
Floyd.
say? Oh,
Iowa at home versus Minnesota for the Floyd. What's the full name of the trophy?
the Floyd of Rosedale.
The Floyd of Rosedale, baby. Minnesota dogs on the road plus 3.5. When was the last time they beat Iowa?
I mean, I don't think I was born yet. In Iowa, I think it's been since the 90s.
Yeah, pretty absurd. But also we just talked about Utah having a hospital there. There there's a hospital. Well, there's a children's hospital, of course, in Iowa City, but it is literally, I mean, they're just decimated by injuries. They have two elite tight ends. See ya. Gone. Okay,
Out for
McNamara,
season.
gone.
Out for season.
I mean, in this offense, obviously they haven't needed it somehow at this point in the season, which is crazy that they have the record that they do. Uh, Minnesota, is Darius Taylor back? Did he play last week?
Let me tell you something about PJ Fleck's injury comments. Good luck. Good luck getting anything out of him. We have no idea what's wrong with Cody Lindenberg. No idea what's wrong with Darius Taylor. Right? All these players can't. Chris Bell was supposed to be. He played like 3-4 weeks ago, and then where's he been? I mean, yes. Now Minnesota's dealing with their own injuries too. Now, obviously, they had a bye week. Hopefully, they got healthy with Darius Taylor and Cody Lindenberg, and you'd love to see Crab out there, Chris Bell. Um, to be honest, I'll give you my pick real quick. I don't think it matters who plays for Minnesota. I'm gonna take Iowa because
And the points?
well, yeah. Whoa, but it's so hard to take
It's
3.5
so
for
hard.
Iowa feels like 14 and a half.
The hook is so killer in this
It's it,
situation.
it's kill it is killer. But also like 14 to 10. No, that'd be way too high scoring. 10 to 6. 10 to 6 would be like that's what I think it's gonna be. Or maybe
Does Iowa
like
score a
nine.
touchdown? Do either of these teams score a touchdown?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that right now. First of all, I have no idea. Here's what I think will happen. This is why I think I will win. First of all, like Iowa's offense is putrid. It is horrible. Right? Utah has had struggles injury wise. That's probably worse than Iowa. Maybe about the same. Utah has a competent enough offense. Iowa's is awful. Deacon Hill is terrible. Here's what's going to happen now. They will hit one long pass with Deacon Hill because they always do against Minnesota. And then they will
Charlie
spurt off
Jones.
one long run against Minnesota because they always do that. And that's two big plays. I don't know if they'll end up in touchdowns, whatever, but they'll end up in points. They'll win the turnover battle like they always do. And let me tell you the huge advantage here. And what's crazy is like I do think this advantage is like it's a 3.5 point advantage. It is literally special teams. It is special. Iowa's punter is fantastic, right? Minnesota's kickoff return is horrible. Punt return is horrible.
It
Punting,
has been. It has been for years.
yeah. If you're not punting from midfield, it's been bad. It is just so painful to watch. Just Phil Parker and Iowa put on a clinic of how to run special teams, and then Minnesota to sit up here and just be bad year after year. They finally got the kicker. I believe in him. Dragon Ketchik has a beautiful leg, big lefty guy. You love that in college football. Scares me to death every time he goes to kick, obviously, but he's been better than what it's been. I do think that special teams is going to change this game for Iowa, and I don't think if they're winning the field position battle, which I think this game's going to come down to, I don't think Ethan Kaliakmanis and Minnesota can put together a long enough drive where they don't turn the ball over, where they don't hold, where they don't drop passes, and don't shoot themselves in the foot to where they can actually get points or finish drives in the red zone because it's so hard to do that against Iowa and so frustrating. They are so beatable this year. The problem is they're more beatable than they've been, I think, the last 5 years, right? The problem is Minnesota, the way they're constructed this year is not the team to beat them. They're not.
Unless Darius Taylor's healthy.
Yeah, yeah, yes,
Because
yes.
they should have won last year, right? But Mo fumbled, right? Say
Oh
that
my,
I think Darius Taylor could have had that same output, right? But just, if he just doesn't fumble there, right? It's like I think he can have like a Mo game, right? If he's playing. Again, if he's playing. And because of that, because I don't think he's actually going to be playing, and because I do think that Minnesota is going to still give Bryce Williams the football when that man does not deserve to touch the football at a Power 5 level, Iowa will win and cover. That's just what it is. It's 7-3. Chalk it up. 10-6. Chalk it up. 13-7. Chalk it up.
I do think like
The
we
total
talked
for this
about
game,
this.
if you follow me on Twitter, the Redshirt Soft, at the Redshirt Soft, you would have saw Dawson's Diner early plays on some unders this week. One of them included Air Force Navy under 37.5, which is now at 36.5, and Minnesota Iowa, which opened at 32.5. I have not seen a total lower than that this year, I don't think. We might get one in the Army Navy game when that comes up this year, but I've not seen one lower than that. And goodness gracious, now it's at 32, I believe, right now. You might be able to buy a half point, maybe get minus or under 32.5 at like
Don't
minus
waste your time with
115.
that. Don't waste your money with that. You don't need the half point. You don't need the hook.
You don't need the half point. In fact, we talked about this all week. Like, what is the number that you would outline this to if you were to outline this?
Realistically, like if I could get crazy value on it, it would probably be like 17.5. Like I
Wow.
don't think that's ridiculous. I think the problem is the only thing that holds me back from actually doing that and betting that is turnover luck, because like if Minnesota throws a pick at their own 20-yard line or Iowa does, like that's just a free 3 points at least, right? So like you can't predict turnover luck. And while I do think there will be turnovers in this game, which is why I wouldn't do that. And like pick sixes, we've seen Cooper DeJean take punt returns back. Like you can't predict that stuff. It's gonna happen, but you can't predict to the extent that it will. So that's why it's hard to do that. If you're playing like this was being simulated on Madden or on NCAA 14, right? 17.5. And I would take like, plus, I don't know, 1,200 and just call it a day there.
So the lowest that DraftKings can give you is under 26.5, but only at plus 175. So I don't know if there's actually
Crazy.
like
That's crazy.
I don't know if there's actual like value there, to be honest.
There's
Because plus
not.
175, you're buying 7 points and you're only getting plus 175. That's crazy. We're not buying points, but you know what I mean. So this game is going to be an absolute. It's going to be must watch because it's going to be a train wreck. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Well, real quick to talk about like other than the macro aspects of this game, the reason why we're covering it, not only is it the Floyd of Rosedale, which we are huge fans of. Obviously, I'm a Minnesota fan. This has huge Big Ten West implications. As bad as Minnesota's played this year, right? Losing Northwestern, losing to I'm sorry, North Carolina, and obviously being blown out by Michigan. Like they're still in it for the Big Ten West race. Iowa controls their destiny, obviously, but they could lose. I mean, it's Iowa. They can lose any game they play, right? With the way their offense is constructed. This means a lot, right? If Iowa wins this game, I think it's probably their toughest test remaining. Maybe Rutgers, which is crazy. Think about that sentence, right? A freaking 3-3 Minnesota team is the toughest game left on your schedule, or Rutgers. Both those games, by the way, are at home for Iowa. And it's been what we talked about 25 years or just about since Minnesota's done this and come into Kinnick and win. It'd be huge recruiting momentum for both these programs. They obviously go head to head on the recruiting trail a ton, being neighboring states, being after similar types of talents. And PJ Fleck has not had any success against Iowa, has still winless against them, which is crazy. But credit to Kirk Ferentz, credit to Iowa for being able to win consistently for a long time. I just now like if you're a casual college football fan, like you're probably not going to watch this game. You can just check the highlights after, maybe like the 20-second highlights that there are, and call it a day and check the standings and see what happens in the Big Ten West. But if you love college football, this is the game you should be circling, right? I believe is it a 2:30 game or is it a 6:30? Let me double check that because that matters. Going into Kinnick at night would be hard.
I don't believe it's a night game, but let's see.
Let me pull it up computer's taking forever to load. I
It's a
could have sworn
2:30.
it
It's a
was.
2:30. It's a
Oh,
2:30.
it's on NBC 2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must watch football.